Hello, welcome to Mary's Economics. So in my last video, I talked about how if the government really wants to stop people going off sick from work, they could try and make sure that work pays enough for a decent basic standard of living. And one of the things that I mentioned in that discussion was food. How if you don't have enough money for a good life, then one of the things you are missing out on is a healthy diet. So I decided to do another video, this video focusing specifically on food and money. And I'm going to dispel some of the myths that I hear all too often about food and money. The main one being it doesn't cost any more to eat healthily than to eat unhealthily. That is categorically untrue. Okay, so if you just imagine a pile of crisps, biscuits, chocolate, jam on toast, and a pile of nice, healthy, fresh fruit, vegetables, salads, one of them is going to be more nutritionally beneficial for you, and it is also going to cost an awful lot more money. Now, food is a massive contributor to the poverty premium. I've done a video about the poverty premium, which is about, the additional money that poorer people have to pay to access the same goods and services as better off people. So the point is, food at your small local shop is going to cost more than food at the big supermarket. And if you can't afford to get to the big supermarket, you're quite stuffed. Now, there is a problem increasingly with fresh fruit and veg at supermarkets or small local shops not being very nutritionally dense, because when you grow crops cheaply at a massive scale in poor quality soil, you don't end up with food that's very good for people. That's a separate issue. I have to leave that one for another day. Even if you can access fresh, healthy food at a shop near you, it's going to cost you a lot. A lot of people are not going to be able to afford it. And for that reason, a lot of those shops don't bother stocking it. A lot of people are living in places referred to as food deserts. If you want to find out more about that, please look it up. It refers to, the dearth of fresh fruit and vegetables available out in neighbourhoods where people really need it. So supposing you can afford and physically get some fresh veg, you get it back home. The next question is, can you cook it? Do you have electricity? Is there money in your meter? Do you have suitable saucepans without needing to do a pile of washing up? If you do you have hot water for that pile of washing up? And how big is that pile of washing up? And can you face it after your 12-hour shift working your minimum wage job in a care home, right? So you begin to see how cooking fresh, healthy food might be more of a challenge for somebody who's struggling away on a low income than you might have thought. But again, I digress, because I'm trying to focus here just on the financial aspect and not on the whole exhausting shiz of like holding your life together when you're on a low income and, can you manage to cook? Let's just go back to the money factor, okay? There is a really handy report. It's produced every year. It's called the Broken Plate Report. It has data in it to do with the costs of food, the amount of advertising that happens around different types of food, and trends in health. The data does focus on England. For other nations, there are similar reports out there. Food Sense Wales is good for Wales. I'm not sure about other countries. Anyway, the Broken Plate Report, the 2026 Broken Plate Report, which was published last month, June 26th, at the time I'm recording this, said that the poorest quintile of the population in England would need to spend 85% of their disposable income on food if they were going to meet the government's Eat Well guidelines. Now, disposable income means what you've got left after paying for the roof over your head. That's all, okay? 85%. Nobody can do that. You can't do that. And I actually, what we tend to see, if you sit down and do a budgeting exercise with somebody that's on minimum wage, You take off what they need for their housing costs, and then there are like urgent bills, and there's all kinds of like really urgent outgoings, and food often comes last. And there's just not enough money there for people to eat well. There just isn't. And this is contributing to obesity, diabetes, heart disease. All kinds of terrible figures are in that broken plate report about the percentages of children who are obese due to poverty. And this is a massive problem. It's a huge contributor to the additional money that the UK spends on mopping up the problems associated with poverty compared to countries that have a more equal income distribution. Tax wealth, not work, and stop judging people who can't afford a healthy diet.